Hello everyone. I am working in industry almost 22 years, and my major role is to develop high-end electronics product. And I have come across a lot of people having the misconception about the fuse, and they will treat this device like anybody can just close the eye and put. So if you are really thinking about this, I think that today in this video I will try to clear all misconception and it's very difficult for me to complete this entire video to complete 10 to 20 minutes, but I'll try my level best. So it should not go much longer time, but I promise you, if you complete the video from starting to end, I am damn sure the from today onwards, whenever you select the fuse for your circuitry, it will be serve the purpose. So let's understand the topic. So the topic heading is fuse characteristics, terms and consideration factor, and this is all about the fuseology. Okay, so what the textbook definition says: the fuses to be considered are current sensitive devices designed to serve weak link in the electrical circuit. It means this device are weak compared to all other discrete component whatever you have selected in your circuitry. So before failing to your other components, this fuse has to fail, correct? But it is not true. It will be not always fail, but your discrete component will fail. So then how it is possible? Then what is the use of fuse? So that's the today topic. Today topic is to be how your fuse is, though it is a weak link in your circuitry, but it may not fail if you have not understood the complete deep understanding of the fuse. So first, what is the misconception? I'm going to clear it. The fuse primary objective is to protection against fire. That's the true. This is the what primary objective, to protecting your circuitry, protecting your board is not his main role. So main objective is to protect against fire. So first I would like to come around what types of fuses. So there's automotive fuse, cartridge fuse, the fuse kits that all consider everything that you use in day-to-day life. Fuses with the LEDs, uh, basically through holes components, industrial and electrical fuses, resettable fuse, that is a PPTC, that also I am going to discuss this entire video. Then you this one you might have seen in your household. If you have not now recently, this is completely getting outdated, but still it is some of the developing countries still using this kind of a fuse. So this fuse you might have seen your bike or car in that categories. So these are the basically general fuses. Okay, is started from the low ampere to high ampere, and this is similar the fuse holder to accommodate the different types of fuses. So what is the fuse characteristics? How many types of fuses we are going to be used in different. So this characteristic of fuse designs refer to how rapidly it responds to various current overload. So basically you can define in four general categories. One, it will be the very fast acting, means whenever overload came, it's immediately blown off. Second is fast acting, very fast acting, then some okay, fast acting. Then slow blow fuse. Slow blow fuse means it will be hold some current for some time, if even though it's gone to overload condition. And last one is the PTC, the positive temperature coefficient. So all the things I will go much in detail. So if you talk about slow blow, the most traditional slow blow fuse design are lower melting temperature materials and are therefore more sensitive to ambient temperature changes. So basically, to slow blow fuse and PTC is almost closer to each other, but still having some differences that I'm going to discuss in this video. So what is the PTC? PTC are typically used in application where the overcurrent events are common and automatic reset ability desired. So you are understanding this means you should not everywhere use either the slow blow fuse or very fast acting fuse or some fast acting fuse or PTC. So it depends upon your application where you wanted to be use this fuse. So you should understand, okay, the whatever devices I'm using it, or it is environmental condition is harsh. If it is yes harsh, then accordingly you have to select the fuse. Okay, so let's come to the next. So what are the selection factor? So basically there is a total 11 number of selection factor you should must keep in mind during your circuit design. So generally fuse will be the first element to be decided based on your entire design calculation. So what are these things? So we'll go one by one. I will try to explain in much in detail. So normal operating current, application voltage, ambient temperature, overload, and length of the time in which the fuse must open. This is very important. Most of the people will think fuse will be overloaded, then it will be blown off. No. So it is the length of the time in which the fuse must open. Means it's possible you got some transient of very high ampere, but your entire other devices failed, but fuse is still safe. So just for a simple example, so this is the one graph I'm trying to show it to you. So if you see there is a 5 ampere current. So if you have a 5 ampere rated current you selected, and this is the time in your y-axis, and x-axis is current in ampere. So if you take the 5 ampere, it will continuously go up. So no matter your time is as increasing. But if you come down, if you see somewhere around zero point 0.1 seconds, your rating of a current is started increasing. So if you go to the 0.01, so it is somewhere 20 ampere. Means if your fuse is subjected to overload condition 0.01 seconds, it can withstand up to 20 ampere of current. So further go down. If I am taking it, let's consider somewhere around 90 or 80, because 100 is the last. So let's consider is around 80. So if your time is given 0.001, so this fuse, what a 5 ampere fuse, is able to take almost 80 ampere of current. So it means if your time duration is very less, your fuse will pass the current and it will be not fail. So this is the what you should must remember this. This is a very critical understanding about the fuse. And other details are maximum valuable fault current, pulse, surge current, inverse current, startup current, and circuit transient, physical size, because where you are going to place this fuse, what is the diameter, what is the height. And nowadays is very compulsory. If you wanted to be high-end product design, this all has to be listed in UL, CSA, VD, METI, METI, or military application. So its approval is must required. Otherwise they will be not considering your product, will be they will never pass if you are using the fuse this doesn't have any approvals. So other like fuse feature, mounting type, form factor, easy of removal, axial leads. Suppose you wanted to field replaceable, so you should be, once field engineers go, is can easily replace the fuse. And application testing and verification prior to production. Now I will go one by one. So normal operating current means the current rating of a fuse, typically 20 derated to 25%. So it means suppose you have a 230 volt source and your output is 230 watt. Let's consider fan is 230-watt fan. So your fuse is has to be selected 1 ampere. So suppose power divided the voltage means 230 divided by 230 is equal to 1 ampere. So your fuse has to be selected 1.25 instead of 1 ampere. So let's consider how this formula means catalog fuse rating is equal to nominal operating current. So let's consider nominal operating current is 2.25 ampere, and then you divide with the 0.75. So what is getting it? 3 ampere fuse at 25 degrees C. So if you wanted to be put the fuse for your normal operating current is 2.25, you must select 3 ampere, because there is a lot of variation, lot of temperature variation, harsh conditions, so fuses will be behave differently. So you can take as a thumb rule. Okay, so D rate at least minimum 25%. If it is more, you have to be understand very criticality, and you can still put it more closer like 30% or something like that. But I'll suggest, my recommendation, you must D-rate 25% of a normal operating current. Then application voltage. Generally, whatever the you are going to be put the fuse in particular circuitry, so your rating of the fuse must be equal or greater than the available circuit voltage. So there is a not much here much derating factor is required. So you can select equal to or little bit greater than that. Is okay to select the fuse. Next is ambient temperature. So the current carrying capacity of fuses are generally they will perform at 25 degrees centigrade, and they will give you the data sheet and the fuses. If you ask a 2 ampere fuse, they will give you 2 ampere fuse, but 2 ampere rating, it depends upon their testing condition. Basically their testing condition is 25 degrees C. So but actually you are using your circuitry somewhere, maybe depends upon your environment. It may be 40 degree, it may be 50 degree, and it may be 60 degree or up to 85 degrees C. So if you see that, so different types of fuse, like curve A is generally for thin film fuses, curve B is most of the high end little bit of a blade terminal special purposes fuses, and curve C is resettable PTC. So if you see, the resettable PTC is more prone to temperature compared to A. So A graph, you see it is going like started from the -60. So rating of, let's consider percentage of rating 100%. It means if your 1 ampere fuse, it will perform 1 ampere at 25 degrees C. But if your temperature goes below, it will perform better. So 1 ampere fuse may give you 1.2, 1.3 ampere if you are operating it's at environmental or ambient temperature is negative. So ambient temperature, don't consider ambient temperature is your room temperature. Room temperature is different than ambient temperature. Ambient temperature basically it will be where your circuit comes. Basically the circuit will be having some of the heat dissipation devices like heat sink, maybe MOSFETs, maybe transformers. So for fuse is not your atmospheric temperature will come into the picture. It will come ambient temperature, basically where fuse is mounted. So this will be very clear where is your fuse is mounted. Don't consider the atmospheric temperature. So if you are, let's consider if you are using a PTC and you are operating of somewhere around 80 degrees centigrade, so you have to derate almost 60% of your rating. So if you are you wanted to be use 1 ampere of your current, you must take 1.6 ampere of current rating of the fuse. So this is a very important parameter, so where your fuse is going to be used. Okay, so this curve will give you the guide of how much derating factor you can keep it, and if you're using PTC, it means the derating factor should be very high. So it's, you must make it very clear statement during your design selection. Next, overload current condition. So as I said, if fuses will be blown on only if you are having continuously current high above current and but length of the time. So even though I have give you some of the graph where I have shown you 5 ampere current can withstand up to 80 ampere current if your time duration is less. So the current level for which protection is required, fault condition may be specified either in terms of current or in both current and maximum time the fault can be tolerated before damage occurs. So this should be very clear. So now maximum fault current. So I'm not taking only fault current, I'm taking the pulse current, I'm taking the transient current. So now let us consider how you will be going to be find out what will be your requirement, and depends upon your circuit testing. So I have just taken an example. So let's consider I am I wanted to be have a fuse had to be put 125 volt input, and my operating current is 0.75 ampere. Okay, so first 0.75 ampere if it is required, then rule of thumb what says you must take 1 ampere of current. Okay, but what about I square T? How to find out I square T? So you have to see, generally they, if you, generally we don't do all those things, but if you are really you're designed to be more sophisticated or very high end product, you must do it. So let's consider if you have very high pulse, around 8 ampere of current, it is coming, and almost it is taking the duration of 4 milliseconds. Okay, so what is your shape of your waveform? So this figure first one, whatever is saying, it is about how you are observing what is the energy, pulse energy is coming into the your fuse. So let's consider your waveform. Some of the your waveform it will come. So our waveform as per the my figure 1 is somewhere is coming as a E waveform. So formula for E waveform is I square T, nothing but 1 upon 5 IP square T. So what is my maximum peak current is 8 ampere. So 1 by 5, 8 ampere. What is the time duration is 0.004. So total ampere square per second means 0.0512 ampere square per second. So means like I square T, the ampere square time. This is the unit for I square T. So what will the step do? So first you have to determine the required value of nominal melting I square T by referring chart 2. So as if you see that previously we wanted to be have my devices at least with the stand of the fuse of 1 lakh pulses. So if you say if is 1 lakh pulses, then pulse I square T is equal to 22% of nominal melting I square T. So if you take out the first equation, so nominal melting is I square T is equal to pulse I square T divided by 0.22. So if you are getting it, normal melting is I square T is 0.2327 square seconds. Now you go to the either anywhere of your manufacturer or and Mauser, DigiKey, anything. So you have to see. So what I have done, I have gone to the Mauser and I was selecting that I square T rating somewhere closer to 0.23. Okay, and I wanted to be somewhere rating of 1 ampere. So if I'll filter it out, I'm getting that part number of 251001, like pico to 125 1 ampere. So and this rated is 0.2568 ampere square second, which is the minimum fuse rating that will be accommodate. Okay, so if you see that still I have taken little more higher I square T than what I need it from this, and this is the 1 ampere fuse will be accommodate the specified 0.75 ampere normal operating current. Okay, so that's what already we have discussed about this. Next is the PTC characteristics and terms. So what is the PTC? Actually is the traditional fuses versus PTC fuses. PTCs are both overcurrent protection device, though each offer their own unique operating characteristics and benefit. So what is the understanding difference between these two technology? So actually PTC is the major difference is that is automatically resettable. Means what does it happen if you are giving the overload current for certain duration, it will be increase its resistance value and it will be pass very minimum leakage current to that, and it will be safe, entire circuitry will be safe. So it's very important to understand where to use. So because they reset automatically, so I recommend to choose PTC in instance where overcurrent events are expected to occur often and where maintaining low warranty and service cost, constant system uptime, and user transparency are at premium. So if you have a user is very high and user or very premium, or you are using it somewhere like medical equipment, where that some of the medical equipment is going under surgery. Okay, doctors are using your medical equipment for surgery, so those are very critical. You better I'll suggest to be use the PTC, though it is little costly than of a normal fuse, but you use the PTC. And also we choose in circuit that are difficult to access or in remote location where fuse replacement would be difficult. Okay, so it's a PTC is a very good devices, very reliable devices, and it will be protect your circuit, and it need not require to break down and itself reset, and will protect the circuitry. So next, I would like to discuss how to selection of a fuse as per application. So first of all, you have to see what is your mounting type, either is a through hole or SMD or panel mounting. So first decision has to be there where you're going to mount this. So are you board mounting? And current rating, so as per the your complete calculation of that, it will be 250 milliampere, but you must assure that you have consider all the derating factors. Then voltage rating is what is the your voltage in DC, what is the response time, you want it to be fast blow, very fast blow, or you want it to slow blow, or you want it to PTC. So it depends upon your response time, you can select this. And then what is the breaking capacity of rated voltage? Okay, let's consider 50 ampere of its go sudden duration of some small duration of that. And then this parameter what I discussed about the melting I square T, that is the 0.0165. This is very important, very critical as per your application. And what kind of approval agency it is required for of your product. And next is what is the operating temperature where your fuses you are going to put it. If it is like going beyond that this, then a lot of variation you will see in your fuses. So better to be have a strict understanding about what is your operating temperature, uh, or basically ambient temperature, I can say that will be the right word to use than the room temperature. And what is the size, means what kind of a size you're looking for. So if you have this entire detailing, we have studied, and you collected all the information, and you can approach to the manufacturer, and manufacturer will recommend their own parts that what it's meet your expectation. So for this condition is a little fuse and all the things like is parts active, is a through hole, whatever you have given the input, all will come and you will get the right part number from the manufacturer. And if you are aware of how to do online searching and all the things, so here you can select all the detailing, so what type of packaging, what kind of a parts active, mounting type, fuse type, packaging, and all the things. It depends upon what you have the previous you have seen. I have the listed out what these are the my requirement, according you can select it, and you will get the desired result. Thanks for watching. If you like the contents of this video, I request you to please share with your friends and your colleagues, and I promise they will definitely like it, and a lot of information I have collected in this video. So please share, please like it, and if you have any clarification, please send me the comment, and I'll promise I will reply your comment. Thank you once again.